understood the three different segments, okay? And I'll just quickly walk you through from the principle of operation. It's not that much difficult understanding what I just told you, because now we know how it works. Okay, I'll just club together all the things which I've just told you. The orbits are mathematically defined. An almanac of their predicted positions is maintained with the receivers. Okay, the almanac is maintained with the receivers. When the receiver is switched on, when the receiver is switched on, provided it knows its position, time, to a reasonable degree of accuracy, it will know which SVs to expect and can commence the position update immediately. Suppose today I switch on the location of my mobile phone. Okay, I switched on the location of mobile phone. Now my mobile phone is a receiver. Because my mobile phone is receiver, it will have something called almanac. Okay, its almanac is present here. This almanac knows that right now it is approximately 1, okay, I'll say 6:30. It is approximately 6:30 right now. So what will my mobile phone do? It will know at 6:30 I will have satellite number 1 here, satellite number 2 here, and 3 here, 4 here, 5 here. It will know the position of these satellites. So it will know, basically, it will know which satellite to receive the signal from. And that is where the pseudo random noise, okay, pseudo random noise codes come play. It has stored that at 6:30, satellite number 1 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here, and so on. So it will be expecting the signals from the same. Okay, as I told you, it will have an almanac maintaining all this. If the almanac is corrupted, out of date, or lost, what will do? Our signals become weak and get minimized until and unless we download the almanac from the constellation, and this takes time. Okay, it is automatic, you don't have to do anything. It will take time, but the almanac data fills 25 frames. It takes around 12.5 minutes to download. Okay, when the receiver position is significantly in error, it will not get the expected SVs. But this is the simple process. Okay, if the satellite vehicles are not where they are supposed to be, we will take some time to download the new data. 12.5 minutes. Do we have any doubts up till now? All right. What about the others?
No, sir.
All right.
No, sir.
Good. So moving forward, having downloaded the almanac, the receiver will now carry out a sky search. Okay, receiver is my phone right now. So if I am doing a sky search, basically I am looking for these these space vehicles. I must be looking for at least 4. Now this is where the interesting part begins. Why do I need 4 vehicles? Why can't I just have 1? Because when you have 2, then you have 3, then you have 4, this forms a fix. That I'll just explain you in 2 minutes. The GPS receiver internally generates the PRN code, okay, and compares the relative position of the 2 codes, time interval, and between the transmission reception. The initial measurement of range is known as pseudo range because it is not yet been corrected for receiver clock error. Okay, so initially it's doing a range search. Once that range search is complete, okay, range search is complete, it is able to calculate something known as pseudo range. It does not know the correct range of the receiver, but it knows the approximate range, that is known as pseudo range. So the intersection of 1 or 2, okay, 1 or 2, let's say we are having 2 satellites. The intersection of 2 satellites gives us a circle. Now you have to imagine that. How is this possible? Okay, if you look closely, if I have an intersection of 2 spheres or 2 satellites, I will get a circle like this. Okay, don't worry, look at this. If I have 2 satellites in air, okay, and Earth is somewhere in middle, I will have a circular shape. Okay, so the Earth, just imagine that the Earth itself is like this. Sorry, Earth is like this. Okay, so you can see this circle is formed. Now this circle is this. We are just using two satellites right now, and we are forming a circle. Now let's proceed ahead and understand. If we include a third satellite, let's say A, B. If you see, I include A and B. What I'm forming is a circle. Let's see how. This is the A satellite. We don't know where the location is, so we will use another satellite, right? So I get a circular shape. Please remember, this is a 3D figure. So the circular shape, I have two possibilities of a particular object. Okay. Now I include another C satellite, that is a third satellite. When I include a third satellite, I am making sure that I have a fix. Okay, one or the two positions I will have a fix. This fix will determine the place. Okay, no problem. We'll make it in a 3D or a three-dimensional figure so that you understand. The introduction of a third range sphere will produce two positions several thousand miles apart. By rejecting the space position out of it, you can get the position. Okay, so you can see here I am getting two positions afterwards. Still I will reject one of them because one of them will be outside, second will be inside. Look at this. Okay, I have three satellites. Okay, when I had two satellites, let's say number 1 and number 2, I get a circle. Okay, circle is cutting the Earth. Okay, but when I include the third satellite, what happens is it will be here, and this will be the location.